9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the NXT post show, Christmas Eve edition. Of course, I have my panelists with me, Stone Cold Courtney, the AEW correspondent, the PR princess, and we are here to do a quick post show. This will probably be the quickest post show that we will have because it is the holiday. It is Christmas Eve. I thank all of y'all for joining, especially my panelists coming on here. Courtney joining me on Christmas Eve, but we want to make sure that y'all do get in some of that family time because we are getting close to the Christmas day, and Santa is about to become full criminal and breaking our houses to give y'all stuff, which is very weird. Now the more I think about it, it's very weird. And now even the more I think about it too, does he have a license for those reindeer? Like, when you really start thinking about it, like, you need a license to be able to take care of animals. Does Santa have one? And what is the regulation on a flying reindeer? And why doesn't nobody? You know what? This is not that show for that. This is supposed to be a short post show. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Jumping into the first match, Stephanie McCool versus Kaylani. Courtney, Cora Jade. Cora Jade, Stephanie McCool went at it. Great starter match to open up the show. Stephanie McCool picking up the victory against Cora Jade. And then after that, we saw Kaylani in her feelings, bringing out a black kendo stick, which was dope, a black and purple kendo stick, and taking it to Cora Jade. Stephanie McCool trying to, break it up a little bit and stuff, and Kaylani just was not having it. Snapped on both Stephanie McCool and Lola Vice in a segment later on in the show, which is leading Lola Vice and Kaylani to a match next week. So I just want to know your thoughts on the match and what transpired after and how you're feeling about it.
Well, I have to say it was a match that really did kick off the show on Christmas Eve between Stephanie and Cora, especially what happened last week where Cora Jade blindsided Stephanie McCool, and it was definitely one for her. But it's so ironic. We were talking about this the last couple months on WWT Live. Kaylani showing a side, and it doesn't have to be heel. She can still be a face, but it's like being aggressive because we see many face superstars in the past be aggressive. We saw it recently this year. I'm happy Kaylani is finally showing a lot more personality because we always see her as a happy-go-lucky girl who gives it her all, but it's nice to have that aggression. It's nice that she can level up and actually be with Cora Jade. Now, next week going into her match, because I know the mayor is probably going to be watching this match, it's going to be interesting to see Kaylani and Lola go at it because I can see a lot of physicality. And also, I would not be shocked if Cora Jade was lurking in this because I know she's going to be watching this match very, very closely. And also, I wouldn't even be shocked if she had a kendo stick to attack Kaylani on what she did tonight. Because I feel those two are gonna have a match probably at New Year's Evil or probably somewhere in the early part of 2025.
Yeah. No, I if this is played smart, I think this is what you ride out. If Kaylani's not going for the title, to stand and deliver, because right now, like we said, we're now on the road to WrestleMania after this week passes, and we're on the road to stand and deliver after this passes. I think this is a great feud that you can move all the way to stand and deliver. One, it gives Kaylani something to remain busy with outside of going for a title and not having a match. And two, this is basically Cora Jade's real step out period as a single star since returning. And let me clear that up. When she came, it was to aid in Roxanne defeating Julia. And we've been in that circle. So we haven't really gotten a chance to see Cora just be in Cora's world. You know what I'm saying? Like it's always been something that has linked her to the NXT Women's Champion, Roxanne Perez. This is the first time we get a chance to see Cora do in-ring mic work, promos, in-ring matches that cater towards this rivalry and really like showing us these two people personalities and how much both of them have changed. Kalani now, like, you know, as they want to, as you know, Boza is saying, Kalani showing a little more depth to her personality. I'm not saying she hasn't had personality, but showing more depth to it. And with Cora Jade getting to see and be reminded of the heel that Cora Jade was when she came back, and also when she turned on my client. So it gives us a real chance for her to become a top heel in NXT again. And I would love to see them again. If it's not till Stand and Deliver, I think it'd be dope to see them have a great rivalry like we're seeing with like a Jada Lola Vice. Like I really hope that didn't slow down either, because as much as I'm seeing now, you know, like it's glad to see Lola Vice back on TV. We still need a part 3 of her and Jada Parker. And I don't know if they're saving that for something else, but it's like I hope that's not completed just yet.
I don't think so either. And plus, I think with Jada, because I think she's going to do a lot of work with Ren Sinclair with the fact that OTM had picked a fight with No Quarter Catch Crew. So I feel like she still has a fight to pick with Ren. And also on top of that, going back to Quark, and you know, come to think about it, outside of Roxanne, your client, there's not that many strong heels within the women's division. Come to think about it, outside of your client Roxy, it's like,
and Fallon Henley.
Yeah, Fallon.
That's about it as far as single competitors go. So that's why I say like Cora could definitely. Cora has a good chance to be able to make a stamp in NXT the way she wanted to when she first got there. That's why I don't believe a necessary main roster jump is necessary. So, but congrats on Stephanie McCourt, just still staying red hot. Continuing to be adored by everybody at NXT, us here included at WWT. So glad to see her onto that victory. So we also got the Heritage Cup that was on the line. Charlie Dempsey taking on Lexis King once again for the Heritage Cup title. And this time things ended a tad bit differently. We have a new Heritage Cup winner and Lexis King with a little bit of interference from a Hall of Famer, William Regal, and some brass knuckles. Well, I don't know if he's in the Hall of Fame yet, actually. Or
no, I don't think so.
Future Hall of Fame. Future Hall of Famer. Well, to answer your point, King Mike Hall, I consider Jada to be like Stone Cold. So she's an anti-hero.
Yep.
So not a villain, but not a hero either. By a score of 1-0, we have the 12th holder of the of that cup. Yes, in a 1-score disqualification. I did read the rules. You actually will lose the full thing if you are disqualified. That's why they do try to tend to make sure that they don't get disqualified or have a count out, because a count out also counts as a full loss. So I didn't know that about the Heritage Cup, but Lexis King finally gets gold in NXT. Courtney, your thoughts on the match going all the way to, I believe, round 5 out of 6, and what does this do for not only Lexis King but the Heritage Cup now? Does it bring it a little more prestige, or does Lexis King still have some work to do as far as making this cup relevant?
Christmas came early. Christmas did come early, but I'm very happy Lexis King does have some accolades under his belt, because we have talked about this the last couple months since I joined WWT about Lexis King with his development, especially with what the picture looks like in the men's division. I do believe this is going to add a little bit of a spark, considering he's going to be aligning with William Regal. And with William Regal being in the business for so long, he can definitely learn a lot from him and pick his brain out. And also, it does increase a little bit of development for him, because even though he says he's not like his dad, there's a little bit of spritz. Because if you saw his promo on Deadline, it just, who did that remind you of when he did that promo?
Oh, definitely. I thought that was his son. I mean, not his son. I thought that was his daddy.
Exactly.
That's why I was like, is that his shirt that you wearing?
So it's like he's dropping little Easter eggs. So this is really going to be a lot of development for him. And also, he's actually one of the people I really, really want to succeed in NXT. And also, that could lead to not just a Heritage Cup, but possibly a future opportunity in the NXT North American Championship race. So that is something that I could see. And also, like I said, with the alignment with William Regal, I think this really is going to develop his character a lot more. And also, he can definitely learn a lot from a future Hall of Famer.
I agree. I think if William Regal stays in the picture, it will look up not only for the Heritage Cup, but for Lexis King. And if I were even to, I know they might not, they haven't tried it yet, but I would even suggest having the Heritage Cup defended around different platforms. Like I would not mind seeing Lexis King have a match at Reality of Wrestling, and putting the Heritage Cup on the line. And stuff like some of these places in like WWE ID and stuff, like just to show like, you know, like of going around and being able to like defend this thing anywhere and really get some wins under his belt, like saying like, yo, I'm worldwide with defending this cup and making it a little more prestigious. So we shall see. But congratulations to him, Lexis King, on becoming the new Heritage Cup champion. And shout out to Charlie Dempsey for holding it down along with the No Quarter Catch crew. Now we are moving on to the Unholy Union versus Fatal Influence. Unholy Union, the NXT alumni, returning for a tag team match against JC Jane and Jasmine Nix of Fatal Influence. And it was quite a lot of story developing out of here. Before the match even started, we looked up into the rafters and we saw Santa Claus for one thing, and then also too another women's tag team by the name of Katana and Kaden Carter. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter were out spectating the match. And then as the match was going on, we had I'm just calling them the Misfits. Don't know if they are the Misfits. Shout out to you, Aries Isaac. Merry Christmas to you as well. Not sure what they are, but the Misfits, Tatum Paxley, Gigi Dolan, and Shotzi also came ringside while this match was going on. And then Kaden Carter and Katana Chance also made their way to the outside of the ring, distracting Jasmine Nix and Fallon Henley and allowing the Unholy Union to do what they do best, picking up the victory against Fatal Influence and getting themselves back on track, hopefully with them eyeing the WWE, Women Tag Team Championships, and hopefully getting back into the conversation. Courtney, your thoughts on all of this, these tag teams all here, and then even after the match, the segment in the back with the Meta Girls coming in to also butt in their business, leading to I believe, triple tag match between the Misfits, Katana Chance and Kaden Carter, as well as Lash Legend. So just what do you think about all that transpired through this match and the backstage segment?
Women's tag team wrestling is alive and well in NXT. I'm just going to say this, and this is going to be the last couple of weeks. Anytime I think of Gigi, I'm just going to think of Darby Allin right there. Anytime with Gigi. And if you don't know the reference,
she ain't with him, no.
I know, but it's just like
you can't be doing that to that young lady, man.
It's just anytime I think of it, I'm just like, oh my goodness.
She said, Mrs. Darby L. Why you got to do that, lady?
Sorry, I just had to go there. I'm just like, anyways.
Okay.
changing the subject, but in all seriousness, women's tag team wrestling is alive and well in NXT.
Yes.
It definitely gives the opportunity for all of them. I was very happy to see Unholy Union back. Also, considering Alba Fire had a match opportunity last night for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, we haven't seen Isla Dawn in a while. Also, it was very interesting that all the tag teams were surrounding Fatal Influence. It just was very interesting because I think for Fatal Influence, because they're so used to being in a numbers game, because it used to be for them 3-on-1.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're now starting to realize there are more tag teams in that division and also seeing them as a threat. Also, we got to see Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson backstage with the Misfits, but that's going to lead to an interesting match with them. Also, I would put this in the back burner, but I could see Tatum Paxley get a future opportunity with Fallon Henley because all three of those ladies, it's going to be an interesting rivalry. And plus, I'm just excited to see tag team wrestling back at the forefront, especially on the women's side, because there are so many tag teams. It's just creating that development, also creating a little bit of charisma as well.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I feel the same way. So I look forward to seeing what will develop between all of these women and the tag team. We know we're getting us a nice, great little tag team match next week. And I'll be honest, I'm definitely rooting for the Meta Girls to continue showing their dominance as a great tag team. And then leading on more into the show, we had Ashante the Adonis taking on Dion Lennox in a Milkman match.
Oh God, the milk reference.
I'm sorry. Yes,
it's a milk reference.
It was a Milkman match tonight between Ashante the Adonis and Dion Lennox. Ashante the Adonis had some company come down to the ring, Nikita Lyons, to support him, which looks like it was supposed to be a dirty victory for Ashante Adonis, but actually defeated Dion Lennox clean. Nikita Lyons coming in, raising the hand of Ashante Adonis, clearly showing that there is something still there. So big ups to him on the win. Courtney, just your quick thoughts on how this match was and the development of Ashante the Adonis's character.
You already know my reaction from the live one. You already know. It's nothing personal, but it's just I need to see a little bit more development. I know you're trying to be a player and be a ladies' man, but get your butt in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Get your butt in the ring. Start to develop. I know you have something going on with Nikita Lyons, even though, like you say, you're in love with Carmen Petrovic. But I would like to see a little bit more development because there is something there.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're trying to get this persona and you're trying to pay homage to Shawn Michaels, you pretty much have to own it. Own it. Smell it, thrive it, feel it, be like Shawn Michaels, considering the guy who's running NXT, because he knows a thing or two about what's it like to be. That's why people call him the showstopper, Mr. WrestleMania, the Heartbreak Kid. So there is development there, and I know it was a little bit messy when he tried to get the pin because he tried to cheat, but he did get the win. Hopefully he develops in the next couple weeks, but it's kind of like when you are with Tony D'Angelo. It's just like, meh.
Yeah. And what's funny about it, I think Dion Lennox would have been a great Diesel for Ashante the Adonis as far as the pairing would have go. I think that there could have been something there with the two of them. And him just being a little bit more boyish about it. But we'll see as that develops. That was kind of an in-between match for this, just to give us a little space and filler, which led us to a fatal four-way match to determine the number one contenders for the NXT tag team titles. We had No Quarter Catch Crew, the D'Angelo family, as well as Hank and Tank taking on OTM. in a Christmas Chaos Fatal 4-Way match. Excuse me. I just want to make sure that was stated. So when you go back and watch it, you wonder why presents, Christmas trees, tables, and candy crowbars were involved in this match, because it was a specialty match. And what looked like it was going to be a victory for Hank and Tank, they were distracted and taken out of the match by Tyrone and Tariq. Continuing that rivalry between them two, showing a little bit more of that anger and a little bit more of that drive, especially not being included within this match. I know that they feel some type of way. But because of that, this allowed us to take the advantage and have OTM picking up a victory, becoming the number one contenders for the tag team titles. Courtney, your thoughts on this win for OTM, and how does this look going into taking on the tag team champions? Are they out their league, or could we see ourselves crowning new champions?
I'm really happy they actually did get a win. I mean, I was kind of sad Hank and Tank didn't win, because for obvious reasons they didn't win. But I'm very happy OTM got the win. It definitely is going to be developing. It's going to be very interesting to see, because Bosa actually said it, worrying about Jada Parker outside the ring, because she's going to be with OTM. But also, I know we talked about like Fraxium breaking up or whatever, but I do see a future rivalry with these two. I feel like these two would definitely develop a lot more well with each other. I know OTM just came off there with Jada Parker, also really creating that development, because now not just the women's division, but the tag team division is on forefront. And I'm very excited for this, because I am a lover of all tag team wrestlings, and I love it when it's at the forefront, especially if it's a legit storyline that I can get involved with. I feel like this is something that could be really good. And I would love for OTM and Fraxium. Now, possibly, maybe for New Year's Evil, but even if they don't win, I could see their stock rising within the tag team division. I can see the stock continue to grow for them, and also with Fraxium as well, because as I mentioned during the live watch along, we still haven't seen like a legit storyline rivalry with Fraxium. So this could be a really good opportunity for them to learn from each other. And also, I would like to see promos within tag teams. I would love to see them do promos.
Yeah, we had a few vignettes that came through. Just like you said, we're at least seeing them develop the tag team division a little bit more, especially with OTM. Like you said, I would love to see them more in the ring, talking, getting promos, letting people know who we are. But I think this is still just getting a good spark to the tag team division and having them there. And to be honest, I wouldn't mind Fraxium still holding it down as these teams developed. And then being able to hand it to the next ones that are there. So, like I said, shout out to them. I'm glad OTM won. I've been rooting for these boys. I've always been behind them as far as them continuing to thrive. They have the look. They have everything that they need. They just needed the time and the shine to do it, kind of just like Jada Parker. Jada Parker had everything was there. We was waiting for it to see when she got her shot. And if you see it, we see her on TV every week now. So, I'm hoping the same thing for OTM. So shout out on them becoming the number one contenders for the NXT tag team titles. We also got to see my client a vignette of her letting y'all know that she gonna remain the greatest women's champion in the world right now. If there's a better one, let me know. And dollars don't mean anything. I'm just letting you know that. Dollars don't mean nothing, okay? I'm just letting y'all know that for all you CEO fans. The greatest women's champion right now is on NXT. Y'all gonna go try to be all like, oh, because she in the G League. No, it's all real live. Whatever. You know who the true greatest women's champion is right now. Best in the world. And she spoke. And that's all we had to see. She didn't have to show up because she don't need to show up. All right. That's what happens when you a champion. You said your video, and I know the views are high. I know the views are high on that video. It's at least sitting there. It's already at 2 million. I'm checking my phone. It's already sitting at 2 million because that's what my client does. Okay. But speaking of clients, we get into the closing of NXT. Trick Williams comes out live at Lowell, Massachusetts. Crowd behind him. Always great to hear them yelling, whoop that Trick. Oba Femi doesn't even give him 5 seconds to talk. Comes out, and then for some strange reason, Eddie Thorpe wants to come out because obviously he believes he's champion. He's on this Kevin Owens right now and think he deserves a championship. And because of this, Trick Williams makes a suggestion of making this a triple threat match. Our general manager, Ava, comes out and agrees to this triple threat match. Fight ensues, leaving Oba Femi standing in the middle of the ring holding up what could potentially be his new NXT championship. Now, Courtney, I want to get your thoughts on this, how this segment ended, and your thoughts on, was it smart for Trick to make this a triple threat match, and what was he thinking suggesting it?
I think with Trick, because the last couple months, Liv, well, that's another conversation with Liv. I'm not gonna get into Roxy and Liv because that's a whole different conversation with Trick, because there has been a lot of chatter, actually chipper, on how his reign's been so far, because after Ethan Page, he hasn't had much legit contenders. And if you see the list of the males division, there's not that many. I mean, outside of like Javon and Wes and Oba, it's like there's not that many that are kind of not ready to challenge Trick yet for the NXT championship. So I think for him, it's kind of really silencing everybody that's been not, I wouldn't say constructive feedback, but have been very harsh and not giving that proper feedback on him. So I think this is something that he does wear his heart on his sleeve. He represents the championship. So this is kind of something for him to prove. And also, I know Eddie, I mentioned during the watch along, he's a weasel. We all know this. I mean, he's a weasel. He wants to get his way and everything that. Oba, we know he's the ruler. He deserves a shot, but I think this is a lot to prove for Trick, knowing that like this could be something that could really support him, because as I mentioned, he hasn't had that much challengers. But we did see Oba Femi make a statement. He made a huge statement saying, I don't care how many men I have to go through, I want to be NXT champion. So this is more of a test for Trick Williams as it is for Oba as we go into New Year's Evil.
Yeah. I believe so too. I think with Trick making the suggestion, it makes it very Seth Rollins like. Not saying Seth was the first one to be very like ambitious and throw it in there like that, but that's what it kind of reminds you of when like Seth was like the Intercontinental champion and just making these matches and trying and showing and proving like him being the horseman and stuff like that of that title. I think Trick does need to be able to do that rather than Ava suggesting it, because now if Trick comes out on top, like you said, it silences a lot of that stuff. It shows you like, hey, my reign just ain't no fluke. Like I'm really doing this thing. But on the other end too, it's not like Oba can't be stopped. Mm-hmm. Oba is just like, it doesn't matter that the two of y'all are there. You're not keeping him from that title. And with him saying it the way that he wants, I want this title. Lets us know it's not just to make him champion. Then he goes to the roster. It's like, no, I want this belt. And if my client wants something, my client don't stop till he get it. My client wanted to be breakout champion. He got that. And we thought that, hey, he'd work that out. Like, no, I want the title now. I want it now. Mm-hmm. And he became NXT North American champion from Dragon Lee in a week. And he has not stopped being a commodity, being loved by the fans, putting on banger after banger in the name of, in the words of Sheamus. So I don't know if Roxanne is not walking, if Roxanne is walking out as a champion on New Year's Eve, which she most likely will, that title may change for the NXT championship. I could see it. Somebody's title is changing at New Year's Eve. And I don't think it's the women's just yet.
I need that clip of Batista. I want it now.
Get what I want. You gotta give me what I want. Give me what I want.
I need that clip. I feel like I need that clip when he plays like, I want it now.
First of all, it's not in danger. Okay, Boza. I see Boza likes being a Roxanne hater. And you know what? I'm not mad at it, because how can you be great if you don't have haters? Okay. So Boza, we need your hate so we can use it for the energy. Okay, because my client is never in danger. Is it an obstacle? Absolutely. But in danger, sir? Come on, man. Y'all have not seen my client.
And for the record, she's 23.
23. And we haven't even seen my client have too much thrown at her, if I'm being honest. Roxanne ain't had to be in no Iron Woman's match yet. She ain't had to be in no Hell in a Cell. I don't even think she's been in the cage yet. I'm letting y'all know, bro, we haven't even seen. Roxanne ain't even broken a sweat yet. Like, if I had to put it in nerddom, Roxanne has not even went first Super Saiyan. I'm talking about Goku on Planet Namek. Just watch Krillin blow up and then turn Super Saiyan. We not even there yet. If you understand the DBZ reference, we still with Goku versus Vegeta. She just learned the Kaioken. I know I'm going full nerd right now, but if you know the reference, again, we have not even gotten her powering up yet. And yes, cousin Ron, exactly. Yes, 100%. 100%. Which also I wanted to shout out, because he said that stop hating on black fathers, because Piccolo was black and he took care of Gohan all his life. A black man was being a father to Gohan when Goku wasn't being shit. I always say Goku ain't shit at all. I have a whole debate how I can tell people Goku ain't shit. And Goku was very much problematic in Dragon Ball Z. I feel like she might be a Super Saiyan 1. Nope. If you look at all her stuff, that girl has not even entered her prime yet. Like, she has not even like gotten to her real bag like that. Because if we being honest, Roxy ain't been challenged like that. So I'm just throwing it out there. And Bose, I know you're not a Roxanne hater. If Julia doesn't win the title New Year's Eve, all hell break loose. No, it won't, because again, it's not a PLE. Julia need to win at a PLE 3rd time's a charm. If my client loses, something is very wrong. Piccolo definitely abandoned that young man on the island for a crazy amount of time. No, first of all, see, that's that bullshit right there. First of all, Piccolo did not abandon him, because Piccolo was watching him the whole time. How that's abandonment and you being supervised? You were being chaperoned. Like, he was literally there the whole time. It's not like he got deserted. He just thought he was deserted. See, Mike, see, we can't be hating on brothers. We can't be hating on brothers like that. Come on now. But before we get out of here, because it's supposed to be a short post show, scale of 1 to 10, Courtney, what would you rate this NXT show in tonight?
I give it a solid 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with an 8 out of 10 too. I think it was great, especially leading into what we have next Tuesday, which is the NXT End of Year Awards. We also have Kalani Jordan taking on Lola Vice, and we got some women's tag team action also in the mix. So believe me when I tell y'all do not want to miss out on next week's NXT. Now, I most likely will not be here, because I would like to enjoy the 1 week off of no taping, just to be able to get a nice little reset before we get back into the groove of things for 2025. So this will technically be the last NXT show of 2024. I do enjoy doing these. I will continue doing these within 2025, and I appreciate each and every single one of you that come check out the watch along with me, that stay for the post show, that interact into the comments and stuff, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's on Twitch. I appreciate each and every single one of y'all, just like I appreciate all my panelists that come and join, especially you, Courtney, for coming on tonight, especially on Christmas Eve, bringing the festivities, making this watch along just a lot better. So I really appreciate each and every single one of y'all when it comes to this. And what is Boza saying? Does Councilman feel more confident heading to New Year's Eve? Could he have 2 champion belts in his possession?
Ooh.
Yes, I can. And I'm just letting you know before we get out of here, though. When that happens,
and I promise you this, above all else, I'm going to be more obnoxious, more overbearing, and I'm going to make you all learn to love it because you'll have no choice.
And with that said, before we get out of here, Stone Cold Courtney, can you let them know where they can follow and support you?
Yeah, I'm usually here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for a WWT Live with the crew. They can always catch me here. We are on holiday break. I normally handle watch-alongs for Dynamite every Wednesday. In the spirit of giving, I will not be doing a watch-along tomorrow since it is Christmas Day. I did my final watch-along last week of 2024, last week since it was the final live one. But I will be back next Wednesday on January 1st because that will be the Dynamite that not only is on TBS, but it's also going to be streaming on Max. Don't forget this Saturday, I will be doing a watch along for AEW World's End. It's going to be exciting. And even though I'm not doing a watch along for Dynamite tomorrow, we are going to kick off with a lot of Continental Classic mayhem happening. In the Blue League, we have Daniel Garcia going up against Kyle Fletcher, Shelton Benjamin taking on Kazuchika Okada. In the Gold League, Darby Allin, Ricochet, Will Ospreay versus Brody King, and Commander versus Claudio Castagnoli. So don't forget that. It will be in Hammerstein Ballroom. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram on @CourtneyNJ11 because I'm going to have some content coming up in a couple days. Also, possibly previewing tomorrow's Dynamite since it is Christmas. It's definitely going to be doing it, and we're getting ready for 2025. And feel free to come see me every Wednesday. We're going to be chilling, relaxing a lot, and what better way to kick off 2025 than hanging with me on a Wednesday?
Exactly. And y'all can always find me at Will Pharaoh, PHARAOH. I will end the new year off right, giving you the regular handle. Make sure you're watching that. Make sure you also follow my YouTube and my Twitch channel. If you're not subscribed or following, please do so. A lot of content is going to start dropping in 2025. Definitely putting a real big focus on myself, building up websites, building up the foundation for myself, and giving y'all all of that content that y'all really have been wanting to see. So I thank each and every one of y'all. Like I said, I appreciate each and every single one of y'all who are always in here joining us. Panel, community, everyone that's at home watching. I appreciate it, especially joining me here on Christmas Eve. Not going to keep y'all any longer because I want y'all to go enjoy the time with your family. Get ready to have an incredible Christmas day. Even if you don't celebrate Christmas, just have a happy holiday. I am hoping that you are off. I'm hoping that you are enjoying yourself and spending it with folks that you love. Even if it's not family around you, try to go be around some people you love. And if you can't be around people that you love, please do something that is love for yourself. Order you something good, chill, watch some great Christmas movies, but just make tomorrow about the spirit of the holidays. And that is just having a good time for yourself before we move into the new year. I appreciate each and every single one of y'all. Thank you for joining the watch along and the post show here on WWT, the #1 women's wrestling network on the MFing planet.
Thanks for joining WWT. Don't forget to like us on all social media platforms at WW Talk Pod. Like and subscribe on all video and audio platforms like yesterday, my G. And check out our website at www.talkpaw.com. Thanks for watching Women's Wrestling Talk, the #1 women's wrestling network on the planet.